desire satisfaction theory. I want to make one thing clear right away, that this theory is different from hedonism. Hedonism is the theory that pleasure is intrinsically good, and so your life is better when you experience more pleasure. Desire satisfaction theory maintains that a life is good when you satisfy your desires. In other words, something is intrinsically good for you if it satisfies your desires, only if it satisfies your desires, and because it satisfies your desires. So, many people, I'd say most people, desire pleasure. So pleasure will be an intrinsic good for those people. So here's how desire satisfaction theorists would deal with pleasure. Having pleasurable experience is intrinsically good for you if it satisfies your desires, only if it satisfies your desires, and because it satisfies your desires. In other words, having pleasurable experience is not intrinsically good for everyone. It's intrinsically good only for those people who desire it. And so desire is the thing that we need to, satisfying our desires is what we need to achieve to have a good life. It's hard to imagine, but we can imagine somebody who wants to harm themselves, to have as many unpleasant experiences as that person can. Now, the hedonist would say they're not living a good life because you have to experience pleasure to live a good life. But the desire satisfaction theorist would say, no, that's not the case. What's important to that person is having unpleasurable experience, and so their life is better for having unpleasurable experience. We looked at criticisms of hedonism and thought of maybe other goods that are intrinsically good. One, it might be the gaining of knowledge. That seems like something that is in everyone's best interest and is part of what the good life is. The desire satisfaction theorists would say, no, it's only an intrinsic good for those people who desire it. So here's how they would deal with gaining important knowledge. Gaining important knowledge is intrinsically good for you if it satisfies your desires, only if it satisfies your desires, and because it satisfies your desires. So if somebody really had no interest in gaining knowledge, then their life would not be any better for gaining knowledge, okay? Because your life is only better when you satisfy a desire that you have. So some important considerations. It is an anti-hedonistic theory. The good life extends beyond one's own pleasures and pains, enjoyments, and frustrations. Imagine George. This is just like our discussion last week. George, who believed he had friends who loved him, but had friends who despised him, was happy, but did not have a good life so long as he desired friends who love him. So here's an example of how the desire satisfaction theorist says your life doesn't go well when your desires are not satisfied, even if you are happy. Okay, so George, he wants friends who love him, but he has friends who despise him. He doesn't know any better, so internally he's very happy, but in reality, his desires are not being met. And the desire satisfaction theorist would say that his life did not go well for him. This further distinguishes the theory from hedonism. Also, desire satisfaction theory rejects the objective list theory. Objective list theory is the theory that there's a number of things that make a life good. We could create a list of those things. Having pleasure might be one of them. Having autonomy might be one of them. Gaining important knowledge might be one of them, etc. So we can make a list and we could consider whether those things are good intrinsically. That whether we should, whether a life is better for achieving them, even if they have nothing to do with your desires. So the desire satisfaction theorist rejects such a concept, arguing that the list that we create is only good for a person so long as that person desires what is on that list. Okay, so if George desired only pleasant feelings and not friends who love him, his life would have been good. Okay, so if George was just a hedonist and all he cared about was pleasant feelings, and he ended up feeling like his friends all loved him, his life would have been good because what he desired was pleasant feelings, and he satisfied those desires. Okay, so I'm going to go through what our text talks about as strengths of desire satisfaction theory. One, there's a variety of good lives. All of us have different desires. I want to be a teacher, and I'm sure many of you do not want to be a teacher, but you want other things in your life. It seems like when we are judging a life as good, we should take into account what the individual wants, and desire satisfaction theory does that. So it allows us to conceive of many, many good lives, even as they're very different from one another. It gives people personal authority over what a good life is. The objective list theory holds that there are universal standards for a good life, that you have to acquire knowledge, for instance, to have a good life. So there's an authority that is external to the individual. But desire satisfaction theory rests authority in the individual. You discover what you want, and it's up to you to satisfy those desires. And your life is good, according to the standards that you have created, the desires that you have embraced. And importantly, it's very hard to defend objective values. Here's what I would like you to do right now. Identify a value that you consider to be integral to the good life. You might choose pleasure, like the hedonist would. Autonomy, moral uprightness. These things might seem to you good, but try coming up with an argument that would defend that value against somebody who doesn't value it. And if you try to do that, it's going to be very difficult. Like I value, acquiring knowledge. But if I came upon somebody who didn't think that was important, okay, they didn't think that gaining knowledge was important, it'd be very hard for me to convince that person that this is important. Okay, but desire satisfaction theorists don't have to make those difficult arguments because there are no objective values. Acquiring knowledge is something I desire, so it's a good for me. If it's not a good for you, I can't convince you of it, and that's fine. Whatever you consider good for you, whatever you desire, that becomes your good. Okay. Motivation. If there were an objective value, okay, a value that improves the lives of all people, whether or not they desire it, then it seems like any intelligent person who knew about it would be motivated to get it. That seems like a reasonable argument. If acquiring knowledge was really an objective value, it was good for everyone, then I shouldn't be able to find somebody who knows about gaining knowledge, who knows how to gain knowledge, and yet still doesn't want to do it. And yet those people exist. Okay. So this is detailed in our book, but this is the argument. You plug any kind of candidate for an objective value into the blank, and you would get, let's use gaining knowledge. If gaining knowledge is truly good for you, then you will be motivated to gain knowledge, so long as you know how to gain knowledge and you know about gaining knowledge. Okay, but many people who know about gaining knowledge and know how to do it aren't motivated to do it. And so it seems like gaining knowledge will not improve the lives of all people. It'll improve the lives of those who desire it, but it won't improve the lives of those who are just simply not motivated to get it. And desire satisfaction theorists don't run into this problem because they only assign a good so long as you, the individual, value it. And as long as you value it and you desire it, you are motivated to get it. Okay. So all people are motivated to get what they consider intrinsically valuable to them when they know about it and how to get it. After all, we desire what we determine for ourselves is valuable. Okay, so desire satisfaction theory can connect what's good for us with our motivations, because what we are motivated to get, what we desire, is what's good for us. So there's a connection there. Okay, so this makes it a stronger theory than the objective list theory. But of course, desire satisfaction theory has its weaknesses as well, and we'll be looking at those next.